Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Room Temperature IQ podcast. Here with me today are my co-hosts Pedro,
Nice to be back.
Rahul,
Bonjour.
Stas,
What's up?
and I am your host, Noah. And here with us is a special guest. Welcome back, Lope.
Yeah. Glad
My
to be
man
back.
nearly forgot
back.
Lope. My man nearly forgot to tell about Lope.
Well, it's fine because everyone is here today, or not everyone, but most of the people are here today, and it's going to be a good episode because it's a NightMode episode, which obviously everyone loves. And we shall be discussing a very opinionated subject, which is our ideal worlds or our ideal societies. And I think we should start off with Pedro, who has some very strong opinions, and I would like to hear them.
Okay, I'm gonna get straight to the point. Okay.
Perfect.
So
Perfect.
this is real. Okay, I'm about to break the glass. Okay, this is
Oh,
true.
no,
and
oh,
it has to
no.
be said out loud. Okay? We are currently living in a dystopia.
Oh my god.
I mean, compared to this, George Orwell's 1984 is my ideal
Oh my
society.
Oh my god! All right, keep going. Keep going.
Can we kill him, please?
Oh wait. Pedro, before you continue, probably a good thing to say. We are only 17,
Oh
all
my
right? So
God.
don't
Oh
take
my
anything
god.
we say
Bro,
seriously.
no disclaimer.
You need
It's
to open.
fine. That's the only one. It's the one we do all the time. It's the one we're going to keep doing.
May I
Anyways,
say
Pedro,
something? May I
please keep
say
going.
something for this
Yes.
podcast? You just
Can
need
you
to
say
open.
insert
You
disclaimer
just need to
every time you say
search a
disclaimer?
thing called political spectrum on the internet and look at it real quick and understand why this podcast was a podcast topic was a terrible idea. Okay.
No, you can't just print money. Money machine go. All right.
Okay, no, but
Pedro.
seriously now, my
Yes.
ideal world is a world where there is no more need for currency,
Oh my god.
and all
Right.
humans work together for the greater good of humanity, and we go onto the stars and get a giant galactic empire going.
So
We subjugate
so
the
space
alien.
communism.
We said no because we
Space
subjugate the
communism,
aliens.
that's epic.
We're not open to their beliefs.
Also xenophobic space communism.
yes, exactly. Pretty
Gets
much.
better and better.
Oh my god.
It's
must say, though-
collectivism for
Wait,
everyone.
wait. If it's xenophobic space communism, then wouldn't it be space fascism?
More like
You would be getting rid of the
space
aliens,
national
wouldn't you?
socialism would be more accurate.
Oh wow! Thank you, Pedro, for clarification.
All these big words.
So it's
Very
very
cool.
simple, if we can let go of our greed, and of the need to have currency, we'll all reach into the next tomorrow, the better tomorrow. Or
I
If we
honestly-
all just
no.
united and destroyed all the aliens and took their lands for ours.
also fuck NATO and UN.
All right.
It
let's
just
calm
wants to
down,
be a
calm down.
hive mind.
See, I was agreeing. I was agreeing with Pedro until.
I said perfectly reasonable things.
Until actual politics went into the place.
Yeah, I do believe our boy Musk working on that advancements with what's it called, the Neuralink.
Yeah, Neuralink. Oh man,
That's gonna be interesting.
My
Oh,
guy
that's
was
good.
so depressed that he named his child a video game nickname, and he's
Kevin.
depressed, of course, because he's
Oh.
afraid he's not gonna go to and live on Mars before he dies.
Of course he's not. He's gonna fucking die. It's
What,
Elon Musk, guys.
Rahul, did you
Yeah.
have an opinion on the Neuralink? You were gonna say
I
something.
thought I actually think it's really cool. Being a guy that likes technology because it's literally in my fucking blood. But
Yeah.
Thanks for clarifying.
You're
no,
welcome.
I think it's cool. I mean, you guys know what Neuralink is. It's basically brain augments.
Mhm.
How we can speed up the brain using technology, and how we can reduce the low reaction time, or as I call it, human latency.
Yeah, and also so that our minds would be
pink.
connected to Wi-Fi on a daily basis, and all the governments of the world would be able to read our literal thoughts. And
Yeah,
and also
blowing-
the,
You're taking a normal, simple, fun idea and just adding a bunch of corporate industrial espionage into that and expecting it to just completely fail. It won't, because nobody has thought that far. I mean, obviously there are concerns
no,
about...
it won't fail. Like smartphones didn't fail; they spy on us every single day, and they're very well
Whoa.
used.
That's true. That's
Bro,
true.
but like Google sends me privacy checklists every now and then.
Oh wow!
That, I mean,
Thank you,
yeah,
our
it's
overlord
spy on you.
Google, for letting me
Thank
know
you,
where my
Google.
privacy was violated. Oh, thank you,
Yeah.
Google. Oh, I praise.
Bro, people out
question
here
is-
doing God's work, bro.
I
question is,
love
when
it
are
when
we
Instagram
electing-
listens to what I say, and every time I say, "Oh, I'm gonna buy some cat food today," just 17 ads for cat food in your location pops up.
Bro,
Best
the
thing ever.
security checklist you get is pretty much them. It's like someone with X-ray vision assuring you still have clothes on, bro.
Yeah, and then
You
you
still
start
have the clothes
shouting,
on.
and then you start shouting
But they
every
look good
fucking
to it.
time, Google, and then you receive an email from like a bot replying to you like, sorry,
The ads
Sorry.
are gonna take over.
and
the
you're
best
like,
part-
how can I not forgive this beautiful bot? Oh, how? And you forgive him, and then he
If you love those
he
bots so
accidentally
much-
leaks all of your credit card information. That's what happens.
Accidentally, bro.
That's fair.
Accidentally.
That's fair.
It looks like Russian hackers have finally transcended into mechanical things.
Bro, where do I sign up to become a Russian hacker?
I mean, you're
I
halfway
think you
there.
can do it like instinctively, just get on a computer and
Just
start typing.
instinctively just open open
Turn on
someone's
some
computer.
podcasts.
Oh my god,
Turn on-
I accidentally opened command prompt. Oh man, I'm sorry,
Oh,
I
no.
Oh,
accidentally.
no, I accidentally hacked the U.S. elections. Oh, geez.
Oh,
Yeah,
that
man,
happens.
bro.
I'm so
That-
sorry.
Hate
when
it
that
when that
happens.
happens, bro.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think Lope, since you actually are our guest, why don't you give your opinion on your ideal world?
God, something so fucking
I've
stupid.
been waiting years.
Please go ahead.
eons,
Please.
centuries.
Go ahead. We need to fill 45 minutes. All right, go.
Yeah, filler content.
Okay, so first off, disclaimer. There isn't a disclaimer. I'm just pretty much a horrible human being.
Yeah.
But essentially,
Good.
bro, wouldn't it be sick, bro?
Oh no, he's gonna say
Okay.
it.
Oh no.
Well,
I know
okay.
where
You know
this
what?
is going.
Well,
First off,
G,
Pedro,
let him
what
talk,
the hell do you
please.
think I'm gonna say? First off,
I don't
wanna
want
hear-
to say it
No,
because it's
doesn't matter.
No, because you
Pedro.
don't know. You're just hating. You're just hating.
Here comes the
Okay, then
offensive.
go for
Here
it.
comes
Go
the
for it.
offensive.
Say it.
Okay. So wouldn't it be sick if the entirety of society was just decided essentially by who could outpunch the other, bro? You know?
Oh
You know,
my
listen. If you could develop like some technology, bro, that would put everyone on like a similar starting level and make them able to like not necessarily physical strength, but just grow in strength, bro. Wouldn't that be sick, bro? Through your own efforts, bro, you could just whoop the fuck out of others, bro, and just
Bro.
take their shit.
You,
No.
you read too many
Bro,
fantasy
That's
fighting
the
novels.
same. That's
Bro.
the same system of government the germs did. And look where that got
Oh,
us. Look where that
no,
got
the
us.
germs were led by a tiny fucking
No,
angry
they had,
mustache
like-
man. Okay, okay, and he wasn't strong, bro. He
He
just,
didn't lead them throughout
me.
the entirety of their existence, although he has had multiple reincarnations.
bro.
And
Even if he
here
wasn't
we
strong, he
go.
was extremely
And here we
persuasive.
go.
Just saying.
Going
Would that not
talking
be
about
sick, bro?
fascism again.
Through your own efforts, through your
Oh
own
my
efforts,
fucking God.
you
Bro,
can
stop trying
conquer others.
to like.
All right, Lope. What you're trying to say is you want the alphas to run the world.
He's,
Precisely, bro.
but you're a beta. How do you spot
What the
these
fuck did you just say?
allegations?
Huh? Huh? Oh, what the fuck did you just say, bro? Huh? Bro, you want to fight? Do you
Thank
wanna
God this is a night mode. Jesus.
Yeah, this is normal, bro.
No.
Jesus.
Bro, Pedro, you want to fucking fight?
The mono cricket noise.
What's good? What's good?
God, what a.
All right. We understand. Lope,
uh,
thank you. Thank you,
uh,
Lope.
well,
Thank you, Pedro. Okay,
Jesus,
moving on to you,
wait.
Rahul.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
thank
you're
you.
not done?
No, I'm done. I'm done now.
Well, we'll get back to you. We'll get back to
No. You forgot to clarify that real life is also missing some sort of magical energy that only humans, for some reason, out of all species in the world, can control, which allows them to do superhuman things that you really want to have. Like I don't know, being impenetrable by swords.
I never denied that I don't want absolute power, bro. I never denied that, bro. I never denied that I wish that I could be an immortal, all-seeing, omniscient, omnipotent God, bro. Never denied that.
Good word.
But
That's never gonna happen.
you know what if it does, bro? What are you gonna do? What are you
Okay.
gonna do if I come for you at that?
I'm gonna be like, yo,
I
can
would
get
be one of the
that
first
God
people
juice
to
too?
create a Church of Lope. Don't worry.
I'll
I would
ask
be.
for
I
God
would.
juice, though.
The second that happens, I would start writing the new Bible with you as a protagonist. Don't
God, I
worry.
hate that world.
Whoa,
Jeez.
I'm gonna lead the
gonna
resistance, bro.
bro.
All
this is
right,
like
And I'm gonna be
Lope
like,
will remember that.
I'm gonna be like Perseus when Zeus said humans couldn't have the fire, and I'll take the fire to the humans and save them.
What
From-
kind of fire can you used to.
Roast.
Okay, you know what? Let's carry on. Let's just
All
carry
right, all
on.
right. Well, okay.
Pedro's
Thank you.
obviously delirious.
Bro, I'm
Thank you
sorry.
for your,
You don't know Greek
both
mythology, you
opinions.
barbarian.
I know
Thank you,
Greek
Pedro.
mythology. Prometheus is tied up on a mountain,
my
well,
God.
chained up, and he's being eaten by eagles and birds and vultures and shit every day to this day, bro. I know mythology.
Bro, imagine being
Thank you
that
very
guy.
much.
Percy
Imagine
Jackson.
being that guy every single day.
Fuck up.
What, bro? Okay, kill Pedro, please. Somebody kill him.
Fucking reading around.
Are we
Percy Jackson books,
done? Are we
And
Yeah,
then
yeah,
are
like,
you guys
oh,
gonna
yeah, I
Pedro's the one who's
understand
Are you guys
making this
gonna-
longer
I'm
than it has.
reading Percy Jackson books.
Pedro,
All right,
hope you
thank
die,
you.
bro.
Guys,
Pedro,
come
well,
on,
thank you
come
very
on.
much for that
It's not the
implementation.
behavior of kings to keep on
Well, that
insulting
is
each other.
yes.
It's Pedro. It's all him.
We are all at the same level here, all right. So let's just calm down. I think we should hear Rahul's opinion as he has not spoken.
I'm just so lost. Like,
Don't worry, your internet
some
connection
kind
is
of
also lost.
RPG based. I'm confused. Someone willing to give me the rundown about what the fuck just happened?
Honestly, don't worry about it.
Just
What
ignore
happened
it.
was Pedro and Lope both have very strong, good opinions, and it's perfect for this podcast. Rahul, now please
Yeah,
tell
I
us
have good opinions.
what is your ideal world?
Shut up, Pedro.
Pedro?
Ideal world in which you can profile anybody you want.
What did he
What do
say?
you, what do you mean?
He's
So,
a racist. That's the.
No.
You want
Are you
social
guys
profiling?
Are you guys familiar with the game Watch Dogs?
Yes.
Oh yes,
Oh,
I
yeah,
love
yeah.
watch other score
Yeah.
dogs.
So the main idea to all the listeners, the main idea is Watch Dogs is that everyone's connected to a central database where you can access, if you have good enough technology and skills, you can access everyone's not personal details but superficial details. Like, you understand, like, you can look at their jobs, you can look at what kind of relationships they're in, but it's not scary. It's not the fact where like you can find out where they live. I mean, obviously you have to do your own digging and stuff, but imagine if you could just like walk down the street and you can just see everyone's, like, you're gonna see like a pop-up above everyone's head that just tells them like, likes food, or likes to watch.
Food. Likes being
No.
alive.
No, that's likes this type of food, or like, and watches this kind of TV show, or plays these kind of sports. Like, you would be able to connect with people so much better if you knew what they liked beforehand, instead of trying to figure it out on your own and doing like some Sherlock Holmes kind of stuff.
So what you're saying is you're
I mean, that's
socially
fair.
inept.
Bro, my
Wow.
ideal world-
Rucho, are you aware that Watch Dogs is kind of like a political message about the modern state of society? That like,
Yeah, I know.
that
I know,
like
but
you
see, like, that's
you
the
can
thing.
nowadays, if you're good at like digging through sources, find out a lot of stuff about people.
Who just
I
wants
mean,
1984?
It's a fun
But
video game.
I understand what's the difference in Watch Dogs. There's like one thing that stores all of this information, and I'm assuming Rucho wants to a world where everybody can access it, and it would be like a free access to everyone, so everybody would know
Yeah,
everything
so-
about
Have you not
everyone.
watched
Instead of-
South Park, though? That worked
instead
terribly
of
in
making
South
it all about instead of making it a corporate kind of situation, you could just have everyone's own reserve where they can just store that information where they want, instead of it being centralized. Because the issue with it being centralized is that weak security can lead to espionage and leakage of information.
Wait,
blah, blah, blah,
what did
which
you say? You said that if it's centralized, it's more safe?
No, I said if it's centralized, it's less safe.
Yeah, it is extremely unsafe.
Yeah.
Well,
that-
no,
that's-
Also, I have a question. What sort of information do you believe would be fitting of a such standardized profile? Because like, I wouldn't be willing to like have my information collected about me and like average periods of time my bathroom breaks are, or like who do I like if I did not state that willingly, or like where do you put that line? Where's your privacy, and where's some information that you actually want to share?
Also,
well,
if you
you
think,
can. Lope, go ahead.
if you think about it as well, it's like you said, what foods they like. Like I would be paranoid as shit, thinking that like what if someone is like comes after me and they know exactly what the fuck I like to eat and they just poison it. Like,
Imagine
what am I
there's
gonna
some
do?
girl. Imagine there's some girl like her parents left for 5 minutes, and some old creepy dude sits next to her and gives her a plate of food that's her favorite. Hello, little girl.
And it's just like
I
mutilating
know
the
you
shit
like
out of them.
Caesar salad. There's more where that
Like,
came from.
it would-
You just need to go
Oh
with
yes,
me
there's
to my
more where that
car.
came from, of course.
Well, then
5-year-old
obviously
with
there can be a
exquisite
certain age. There can still be an age restriction where
Oh yeah,
you,
sure. Like there's a
o-
Pornhub.
only after a certain age are you permitted to have your own have this information displayed, or like at a certain age only then you can say yes, I want this to be displayed, or yes, I don't want it to be displayed. But until you hit a certain boundary point.
But there would be
It's like
people who would
you can
choose
choose
that,
whether or
and
wouldn't.
like nothing would be shown for them.
Oh well, then shit, like then they just can't.
That system would
Wait,
drive
I have a
people
question.
apart away.
Rahul, I have a question.
People are already divisive
Yeah.
as it is nowadays.
With the example that Stas gave, where what if an old creepy man was sitting next to the girl? Wouldn't you technically, if this is a way like where everyone can see like your mood or whatever, like what kind of person you are, wouldn't the family that left the girl then see that the old creepy man is possibly a
The
pedophile?
point is,
And
the
also
family's
would
not there,
probably
bro.
see the notification that he's a registered sex offender. That's also a thing.
Yeah, exactly. So like, then there would be no issues because you'd come up with hypothetical issues, but then you'd realize that
No, wait.
everyone can
Oh,
see everything.
This is in the context that the parents aren't there. And as a kid, you said until they're 18, they don't have access to this information. So essentially, she just
But
sees the random dude.
the parents walked away from the child in the first place, right? The parents, they were there in the first place to see. So, I mean, I don't know if I'm wrong, but they would probably not leave the girl there with a man that has a status symbol that's big, bold pedophile.
Well, he's not just gonna be vibing there and waiting. He's probably gonna like pull up later. Like,
Yeah,
That would give a different problem though. No, imagine. So there's this AI that sees all your behavior patterns and then defines who you are based on them. What if this AI is wrong? What if this creepy old dude is actually a normal person, but like somewhere in the algorithm, something that he does is a common thing that like somebody who's not a really trustworthy person would do, and he does that for some reason that like the AI could not explain, and he would mark him as a untrustworthy person. Imagine how that would affect his work, or like how that would affect his CV. Like people wouldn't look at his CV and like know that he's because they would know that
like
AI thinks he's not a pleasant person or like undesirable person.
If this thing can like read your minds, what if someone who's like 18, for example, like experiences attraction towards someone who's 17, or like slightly younger, or someone who maybe is older, 23 or something, experiences attraction to someone who's under 18, but they don't know that they're under 18, and the AI would just automatically classify them as just a sex offender and a pedophile, and then they're just fucked without even like they didn't even know that this was a kid, but now that's just stamped on their forehead for eternity.
I mean, I think you'd figure that
or a different thing. Imagine there were two 17-year-olds who were dating, and then one 17-year-old turns 18, and the boyfriend or the girlfriend stays 17, and they did not like immediately update their profile that they're both are having consent. That would also be a problem. Also, would you be willing to kind of say to some profile that yes, I do have consent to do something like that, and like some big fucking machine centralized that everybody can check, will know what sort of relationships you had, and like specifically what type of relationship you had.
No, but what you guys I don't think are realizing is the fact that if this was so this is ideal society, right? If this was implemented from the very beginning, these things would be normal. You would not double take these. Like now, with our current society, when we think of those things, we think, oh wait, that's weird. Oh, that's not normal. But if this was a society that was normal, that was the norm, and that had been throughout time, this would be. They would not even like think about it twice. It would just be part of things that they do. Like, let's say an alien society doesn't use money. They come here, they're like, oh, what the hell? Why do you guys use money? That's weird. But we don't think about using money. That's just normal,
Unfortunately.
So it would be already implemented in your mind as a young child.
Yeah,
That's just how it is.
But even if everybody thinks it's normal,
free will would not have some sort of currency or
Well, there's always
system.
You're so pessimistic.
Yeah.
Shut up,
Alright.
Pedro. Shut up, Pedro.
Well,
You think
Rahul, did
everyone is
you?
just like a saint or something, bro?
No,
No.
but they could be.
But Rahul, was that your opinion finished, or do you want to keep going?
Bro, you know what? I just said something, so we can get a conversation going, and my job is done. So let's move on.
Right. Well, thank you. Perfect. Stas,
Oh,
go
Uh,
ahead.
it's
What is
probably
your
like
ideal
Pedro.
society?
Wait, no, did you say yours already?
I'll save mine for last. I mean, it's very short, anyways. So
I don't really have a good one. I wanted to think about it a bit more. So
Alright,
would
well,
you be so kind
sure.
to say yours first?
yeah. Okay. Well, mine's a bit more hippie. I would prefer a world that's, it's not driven by money. Not everyone is out here to work for money. People are working out of the fact that they want to. They're doing a job that they like. Personally, I'm a strong believer in doing what you want to do, doing what you like to do. Don't work a job just to gain money. Work a job to have fun. I mean, that's personal opinion. People are allowed to disagree. But yeah, and I think we should have a world that doesn't revolve around money. It revolves around developing together, and a bit like Pedro said, I don't know about colonizing the stars, but yeah, trying to advance the society together, and I guess being more of a futuristic type deal, like in the movies, you see people flying around in cars, whatever, that kind of thing.
Yours is
Usually
actually
such
the most,
societies are the ones that end up being corrupted and destroyed, but
I know, but
No,
no, the
no.
thing is,
Cynical.
there wouldn't be corruption because no money is involved. There is people working because they want to, because they have a choice. And yes, there will be people that don't want to work because they're lazy, because like, oh, I don't have to work because I don't have to make money. But like I said before, this would be a different type of society. People would be thinking differently. They would not have the same idea as people here. Obviously, like Lope said, not everyone's a saint, but hopefully this is an ideal society, so I'm allowed to say what I want. Hopefully people work just because they want to, and people are just happy. Yeah.
No, but if you think about it though, yours is actually probably the most realistic one so far. Yours could actually potentially happen in the future. It
what
would
do you
just
mean?
depend-
Pedro
What he
described
started
space
so
communism,
much-
and Noah described space communism as well. Like,
No.
I
I
sounded
said
like
no
he's
space
defending
communism.
my ANCAP heaven.
No, listen, Pedro is different, bro. Pedro is just a radical. Don't listen to Pedro. Pedro.
What do you know? I just want people to be happy and to like get
Yeah,
some
no,
more
everyone to
energy
be
out
equal.
in the star.
What's important is that
I mean,
every
what?
single person is equal. There's no
No,
such thing as
I don't
poverty.
think-
There's no such thing as like people being extremely rich. Everyone's just on the same line. Everyone's just vibing.
oh yeah, there's no working class, there's no second class, there's
Yeah,
no first
exactly,
class.
exactly.
Yeah, no
Oh
more
yeah, there's
classes.
no money, so that there's no possession of goods. Everything is shared by the state.
Communism.
Yeah, exactly. I'm
By the
explaining
people.
to you why.
Yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
just,
People
I'm saying you
who-
described communism.
I'm not saying everyone has to share everything.
I'm sorry, but
Yeah.
personally, I believe currency will always be important.
Yeah,
like,
it will.
Good
there should always be like possession of, like, what, like, I'm sorry, to me, I just can't wrap my mind around the idea that like everything is owned by the state, because like, if you don't have your own personal possessions, like a good amount of a person's personality is also defined by what they own and what they have as well.
Mhm.
So
Yeah. Also, I believe that philosophically, if you look at it, currency is a byproduct of our economies. It's kind of a mean to trade with others, something universal to trade for something. And economics is kind of, at least the way I see it, I only just started learning economics basically, but it feels like economics is something that's deeply embedded within us. It's something that's kind of developed by human species as a part of their evolution, because no matter how far away you go, humans would exchange goods and and like try to obtain more goods for each other. It is some sort of primal desire, and I do not believe that there would be some outcome that like money would be absolutely abolished, and there would be no situation where some person would not be lacking something that he would want to exchange something for it. So
Well, I mean, that's how currency started in the first place. That's how we.
yes,
got-
exactly, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I don't know how would
That's a fair point.
society without currency function.
the inherent truth of the matter is just that humans are inherently selfish. Like we
But I
all
mean-
wanna we want to have stuff for our own, and we don't want to be taken advantage of by others. So if you think about it, that's how trade started. I have this thing, it's mine, I found it or made it, belongs to me. You have that thing, you same process, and we can exchange.
Yeah, and that was done without money.
But okay, look, it's
Yeah,
called
but it was
it's-
it was not
Money is
simple.
like a stabilizing factor. It's like it's
It
just
sucks, bro.
what, bro? It's
no. I'm just saying it's called. We're calling this ideal societies for a reason. The keyword ideal. All right.
Pedro, you fucking
So-
hippie, bro.
I'm just saying. Just chillax, or relax. Sorry, I just unrelaxed said chillax. I'm very sorry. I am. Oh, gee. Well, everything I
you
just
need to
said.
add extremely in your "I'm sorry," otherwise we're not going to believe.
I am extremely sorry. Please forgive my sins.
No.
Okay, keep going.
Yeah, there you go. Does anybody
Stas.
have anything to add to Noah's, or should I start mine?
Go ahead, Stas.
The way I looked at it, I wanted it to be a bit more grounded because, in reality, of course, the main focus of every perfect society should be the happiness. Everybody is happy.
Mhm.
And of course, I would have also gladly described the space communism if 3 people did not describe it before me. So I thought about it, and I'm just thinking that a perfect society would probably have very little poverty or no poverty at all. Like, the concept of it would be non-existent. That's the first step, probably. Second step would be people working for one another rather than not working for themselves. Like, different states trying to mutually improve each other rather than besting one state over another in the pursuit of everlasting greed of obtaining more and more power or possessions.
Ouch.
I mean, that's fair. That's fair.
And I think some of those things just care more for each other. I feel that that would be a prime step for a perfect society that I'm thinking of. And
Yeah. That's fair. Yeah, I think honestly, now that we're civilized, I think that's a good point.
because our modern society is so unbalanced. There are people in some countries that cry over the fact that their membership of some Starbucks card, I'm not sure how they're called now, got like cancelled because they did something wrong. And there are people in literal countries which are unable to obtain the basic needs like some food and just starve to death. And the fact that such huge divide exists is disturbing. Maybe the first thing that should happen is probably every single country being assisted in becoming a quite developed country and helping each other.
Yeah, I do think that the point you said, Stas, where people are crying over different things. People have different worries, depending on. I mean, this is obvious, but depending on where you are economically, and I think I don't know if you're trying to make this point or not, Stas, but I think in a ideal world, everyone would be. If there was a worry, it would probably be similar, heavy. I don't even know how to say it, but like it would be a similar issue. Instead of crying over Starbucks membership or genuinely being unable to find a house because the area you live in has been flooded or something like that.
Maybe I'm leading to something like a perfect society would be where some big government kind of oversees the entire world, but at the same time there are so many ways how it could go wrong. I'm thinking of like maybe not one government, maybe not one entity has all this power, but rather it's divided into some states that have equal rights between each other, and they can mutually work with each other.
Mm-hmm.
And somehow be motivated not to try to stomp one another, but rather assist each other in growing.
Yeah.
Which seems quite impossible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I do agree with that. Okay, well, I have a question for everyone here, and this is kind of contradicting to what I said before. But do you guys believe that there should be a higher power, or like one person that leads everything? Kind of, maybe not one person, but like a group of people that leads the whole world.
Yes.
You mean
Right.
like the Illuminati?
I mean,
Not
if you want
Not
to, if
even
you want
not
to
even
say,
like Illuminati. Think
not
of
hidden,
something
as in, like, public.
authoritarian. Just
I guess it sounds like the Hunger Games now, but like, yeah, something that like there's one power that leads the whole world.
You mean
basically the
world
question
government?
is, do you guys
Yeah.
want to have an authoritarian state that controls the entire world be above you, and
Yeah.
a certain small collective of people, or even one person holds all this power within themselves?
That's not the question. That could be the democratic world governments. Ever watched Star Trek? Noob?
It's in your ideal world, Joe. Does anyone want to go first?
I'd have to go with a resounding fuck no.
All right. Well, you're gonna have to elaborate.
I'm
A
sorry.
resounding.
You
Oh, wait, no,
stupid, bro.
Lope,
Shut up,
didn't you
Lope.
say Didn't you say that the alphas should lead the world? Isn't that kind of the same thing?
Yeah, get
Well,
wrecked.
no, but listen.
Sounds a
All
lot
right,
like
all right.
Aryan
Listen,
race.
listen.
Listen.
Okay, let Lope speak.
Exposed.
Let Lope
Let's
speak.
shut the fuck up, Pedro. Sorry.
Thank you.
I coughed. That's something in my throat.
Yeah.
Listen. So essentially, when you said the alphas, I treated it like a joke. I didn't mean it literally that the alpha males.
Okay.
Oh yeah, of course. Now you're saying that. You sound like
Pedro,
Trump.
please let Lope talk.
No, but
Opinions are
I
freedom.
was more thinking, since you said it's an ideal world, bro, it doesn't have to be the real fucking world. So I was
Exactly.
thinking, everyone has a path or a pursuit of a higher level of power in a way. And so in that
Private
sort of
avatar now.
context, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Please.
Just shut up, Jesus Christ. No, okay. So since everyone would theoretically start on a level playing field and have sort of equal opportunities, as long as you put in a requisite amount of effort and you're willing to risk a large amount of things, essentially including your life as well, and you would be able to gain greater power by doing that. So
Wait a
sure, there
second.
would be people higher up, but at the same time there would also be people climbing up at the same time, so it would always be in a state of flux. So obviously some people would get hardcore stomped on and shat on, but other people would also gain the chance to also climb up as well. So there would be people at the top, but they would always be changing. You got what I'm saying?
Yeah, okay, that's
Fire
fair.
Nation attacked.
So oh my god, can we kick Pedro,
Okay.
please? Can we
Pedro,
get the fuck out of
please
here?
keep your
Jesus
keep your
Christ.
comments for later. Thank you. Are you talking like a dictator type of situation where it's a father and then the son takes over, or it's anyone can take over?
Not like a father-son type. Literally anybody, as long as you have the requisite amount of power. I'm talking
Okay.
about in a sort of. Okay.
And
listen,
is it voted?
let
Is it voted upon?
He's talking
Or-
about
Let me-
meritocracy.
No, listen. Let me tell you essentially where I got the idea from. Okay.
Okay, of
Sure.
course.
There has to be some sort of supernatural force in order for this to work. So it's not realistic, okay? Which
Well,
is
it's
why
ideal.
I'm saying it's impossible. All right. But it would be ideal because listen, everyone would get the chance to grow and get stronger from the supernatural force. So it wouldn't matter.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe your parents could pass down some power or some shit, but it wouldn't be that big of an advantage as compared to the normal people, So everyone would have a chance to climb all the way to the top and be in power as long as you put in enough effort.
Mhm.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What's
Yeah,
the
that's
boss
fair.
fight? Cool
Shut the
RPG,
fuck
bro.
up,
What's the boss
Pedro.
fight? I just noticed that was you.
Jesus Christ. Oh my god.
What?
I hope you burn. I hope. Oh.
All right. Well, thank you, Lope. Pedro, do you have what do you think? Should there be an overarching power?
It's not should there, it's inevitable. That's the natural conclusion.
Well, you're saying natural. We're talking about ideal here. We're talking about, remember, this is a society that's been completely different. We don't have they don't have the same ideas as we do. So
Bro,
in your ideal world.
what do you mean, bro? Because it's inevitable that given enough time, a technologically advanced species is going to get a world government. So
you're saying yes, there will be or should be.
No, it's not there should be. I mean, for me, I'd just be like, yeah, but not if it's the UN. But
All right.
despite that, then
Anything but the UN.
Yeah, exactly.
What,
Anything.
do you have an ideal leadership?
Himself.
No, bro, that would be too.
You
That would be
hesitate.
bad.
You
That would be
hesitate.
bad.
We caught him lacking.
Shut
We
up,
caught him
shut
lacking.
Okay,
Shut
keep
up.
going. Please, keep going.
It's like you put like a bunch of people that are smart and shit. No, I'm joking. I don't know, man. That's like a very complicated question. I think you gotta get to the root of the question. Like, what does leadership mean?
God.
How
People
can
that
we-
okay. I'll give you what I think at least. Leadership is people that have higher status than you, and they are allowed to give you orders and allowed to make law, and they are allowed to punish you for doing things or breaking the law.
Did you have a dictionary definition just if you started asking what is?
No, that's on
Leadership.
top of my head. On the top of my head, I said that on top of my head.
Honestly,
Bro,
honestly,
that
if there's
doesn't
gonna
sound
be a
like
world document,
leadership. That sounds like straight up like slavery almost. They
No,
can
I mean,
give you
okay, I
orders
mean-
and punish you if you don't do. Bro, what's
No,
what's
okay,
up,
I'm
man?
not saying okay.
Yo,
Punish
yo.
doesn't have to be beatings. It can just be a fine if there is a currency, or it can be like, oh, I don't know, you're not allowed to work for a week. I don't know, something like that. I
Not
don't know.
allowed to work for a week?
Don't you think it's a bit radical, my guy?
I don't know. I'm just saying. Pedro wanted a definition, and I gave him one.
Sounds like a plus right there.
Well, Pedro, are you able to make something out of that? Or...
honestly, if there was gonna be a world government, it should be the same one in Starship Troopers. And I know everybody's like, oh, Starship Troopers is fascist, but it's not okay. It's like Neil Patrick Harris was there. That's the start. That's my first point, okay?
Watched it or heard of it, but it's wrong.
And Neil Patrick Harris is
wrong.
he's a world treasure. So anything he's on cannot be bad. Anyway,
I
moving
don't
on to the
I
real
don't know
argument.
exactly what you're talking
You
about.
sound like a religious fanatic.
Moving on to the real arguments. In Starship Troopers, population is divided into two classes: citizens and civilians. Right? All of these, both of these
And
classes.
to be a citizen, you need to have served in the army.
Yes, I'm getting to it. Okay.
Oh,
getting
you're
to it.
talking about this
going, keep
thing. No.
It's first and second
Yeah,
class.
let him.
And
let him
like
speak.
and like
Let him
no,
speak.
they're not first and second class. They all have the same rights. They all participate equally in the economy. The only difference is that only citizens only citizens are allowed to vote. And how do you get a citizenship? You have to prove your loyalty to the
You
the
have to
government.
go to the army.
This is what happened to black people in America. You
Exactly.
fucking muppet,
Send
bro.
them to
This is a militaristic government, quite militaristic.
It's not a military
Well,
government.
it's
Throughout the
ideal.
Throughout the entire recruiting process, you are actively discouraged from taking part in the process, and you're like actively asked for consent because it's totally your choice whether you want to participate in politics.
yeah.
And this ensures that all the citizens that go into politics at least have the determination to.
You can either
And
risk
that's
your
fair.
life
Loyalty.
or you just don't get the right to choose what happens to your country or where you live in.
That doesn't matter.
Nice.
Because you have all of the other rights, bro.
It's
What
a
more could you
huge
want?
opportunity cost, and I would
So-
say people would have to go to the army.
No, but
Yeah,
so
but
wait,
it's
Pedro.
perfect.
What
Either
you're trying
you
to
go
say
to
is
the army or you're just a sheep.
no. So if you go to the army, you get voting rights, but
Waiting to be
otherwise, if you
called.
don't go, you still get the normal rights. Like you don't get the exclusive package. You don't get that DLC.
Yeah, it's like if you want to vote, you can go to serve in the army. It's pretty logical, you know.
So the only
Show
reason
us
you
that
go to the
you're-
army
show
is
us
to
that
vote.
you're show us that you really love your nation and that you really want to
Okay.
participate in your politics.
Pedro, would you join the military?
Well, of course not. I fucking don't give a shit about politics. I just sit in my house being a civilian all day.
Oh
I'd
my
be
God.
fucking happy, bro. I'd probably be like a magnate or something. In future
fair enough.
resources.
Fair enough.
What if
Well,
someone
do you-
overthrows that government and just installs something else?
Bro, then I'm upset, bro. Then I'm upset, and then I'm gonna say, hey, hold up, you can't
Yeah,
just
what
do
if
that.
what if your vote could have changed that, but you had to go to the military
Oh,
to go get it?
Jesus.
Huh?
All right. It's fine. It's
Okay,
fine.
can we
Don't
can we
worry.
keep on can we
We'll-
go
we'll
back
keep-
to
we'll
like
keep going.
the question that Noah asked? I want to say
Yeah.
something about it.
Well, I was gonna go through the order again. So, Rahul, do you think there should be an overarching power?
Okay.
I highly do not. I think that centralizing power could be an absolute failure. Could be a disaster.
Thinks only of curry.
All right.
Oh, wow.
All right. That's fair.
I'm joking.
I mean, everyone has, each to their own. It's an ideal world. I don't know how many times I have to keep reminding you guys, but
I'm
Does
glad
this-
you gagged, Pedro. I'm glad.
Are you?
Pedro got
was that all you
server
wanted to say?
muted. Nice.
Yeah.
All right,
That's pretty
Stas,
much
your
all I wanna
turn.
say.
That's
Stas,
so. That's
it's your
that's so.
turn.
Oh my god! Finally.
Here you go,
Uh,
Stas. Your time to shine.
Can you repeat the
Oh, yes.
question one more time? Because
Do you believe that in your ideal society there should be an overarching power?
I'm quite conflicted on that, to be honest.
Why?
Because when some greater power is always controlling
Mhm.
and is in control of everything around you, it is easy to fall behind that power and just let go. You wouldn't really have an incentive of working for something better or trying for something better. And people wouldn't really, people under such power, living under such power, would not know what to do if this power is going to be gone, or even to how to stand for themselves. And I believe that that would be detrimental for personal growth of all the people in such place. However, my own description of a perfect world kind of sounds like there could or must be some sort of power that overarches everything in our world, which is quite contradictory to my own belief.
Once there's a supreme dictator, everybody else becomes a sheep. So like
yeah, exactly. And I don't really think that is the best thing that could happen to you.
That would just be detrimental to the human race in general.
Yeah.
Like within a few generations, everyone except the people at the top would just be absolutely useless. Like they would be unable to think for themselves and just follow orders.
It would be probably a bad example, I guess, but if you think about USSR, right? There was my boy Stalin and all other leaders, and the state tried to control majority of the stuff going on in the country, and because of that, when the remnants of USSR became capitalist and democratic, people who were capable of standing for themselves and being competitive quite easily stomped over all those people who for that time decided to be reliant on that power that was controlling all their lives. That level of certainty that they had experienced for the entirety of their life was gone, and they were struggling because of that. That's why many money pyramids in Russia were still successful, even though money pyramids were not a novel thing in the rest of the world. But many people in Russia still believed in those and became poor. And because of that, many things got privatized by a small amount of people, creating monopolies all over the place. So,
all right, that's fair. Yeah.
So looking back at that example, it was quite concerning for me to think that if the entire world was under such power, that would only degrade the society and not better it, in my opinion.
Okay. That's a very good answer, a very lengthy answer, which is perfect. You have very well explained your point. Does anyone want to comment on Stas's opinion?
Pedro, try me, Pedro. Try me.
I think that like it's irrelevant that the size of the Earth would make it hard to manage, because by the time
that is not my point. My point is that people who are always being managed by others would struggle as individuals and would slowly degrade themselves into something lower than a society, but rather I'm not even sure what it would be.
They would literally become slaves.
What do you mean, like
willing slaves?
Overburdened bureaucracy? Is that what you're talking about?
Wait, what? Bureaucracy? I didn't hear what you said, sorry.
Overburdened bureaucracy.
I'm honestly not sure what I'm talking about.
Like, my point is that, like, by the time we get a world government, we'll probably be in the space age, and at that time, a planet will be like a country. So it will be much easier and we would have developed, pretty much new methods, and we'll be more significantly advanced, and we'll maybe have our management like better in tune.
Well, that's gonna be far, far, far in the future. If that
maybe not. Happen. Maybe Elon Musk has a stroke tomorrow and wakes up with the power of time travel
Or he dies.
Level. No, stop being so cynical.
No.
He said a stroke. That's usually what
Honestly,
happens. when you
I
have a
don't
stroke.
see how interstellar travel would create world governments all over the place. Because, for example, when we're gonna colonize Mars, from what we see right now, lots of private companies are attempting to do so. And when SpaceX creates its own colony, who is going to attempt to stop them from just claiming that their colony is kind of their own thing and not territory
it's
of the
gonna be
country?
like
That's
it's gonna be like done by corporations or by a world government, like I said.
yeah, exactly what I'm saying. But there would be like, for example, in the Mars, right? It's quite easy to imagine that there would be multiple different colonies on Mars, owned by different corporations and governments,
That'll be cool.
and they would
Yeah.
definitely have some sort of conflicts
And then
between
there's
each
like a
other.
big-
They
yeah,
would
there's like
they
a
would be
big
claiming
war on
different
Mars.
territories, but they would have trouble claiming them because it would be some sort of level on wind fighting, and it would be quite
There's like
messy.
a big war on Mars where all the corporations like fight for the planet and shit.
I think
That's a good movie.
the politics would get
That's a good movie.
the politics would get on a different level, and it would be quite like it would escalate exponentially. Let's just say.
Oh, okay.
And
Yeah,
I'm not,
I
and
think
I'm not
that's
sure,
fair.
and I'm sure how such escalation would lead to greater potential for a world government, because even like during Cold War or something like that, there were two main powers in the world, and still neither of the powers really managed to get the entirety of the world under their control. And if you say the US did, then I'm gonna say only one word, and that word is going to be China.
I know.
Fair, that's fair.
I know.
All right. Well, before we end the episode, I probably should give my answer as well. I personally believe that there should be a hidden overarching power that. Well, okay, I'll explain my
You
point. Is
support
because
the Illuminati.
Yeah, he
wait,
does.
I'll explain my point, and then you
Oh
guys
my
can
God,
comment.
he's a slave to the Illuminati.
So,
Oh my god! How
I
about
said
the
that.
next episode would like go through evidence of Illuminati?
I mean, that would be an interesting episode. But okay, so the reason I believe there should be a hidden overarching power is because in my ideal world, everyone is on the same level. Everyone is equal. There is, everyone's just happy. Whatever. The people are working because they want to. There is, okay. It's all peaceful. And the reason there should be a hidden overarching power is that way people don't have to worry about it. Because if you're a law-abiding citizen and you don't do anything bad in the world, then you'll never know about this society. But if you do something bad, you will be taken care of. I don't know if that means, killing the person. I don't think so. I think they should be given a
Describing
warning.
North Korea.
Yeah, he's basically describing Orwellianism.
I
Hey,
just
if
like
you didn't
to
do
report
anything
that
bad, citizen, you don't have to worry about wink.
No. But the thing is, nobody. Okay,
Big
yeah. Okay, I
Brother
don't
is
know.
watching.
Big brother is watching. Do
No,
not worry.
but it's pretty much where it's a very dystopian world. Everyone is connected. Like Rahul said, you do something bad, the system recognizes it, and it's like, okay, this person bad, big no. Send out warning.
No, but who decides what's bad?
You're being right.
Well, the overarching power.
What if
In pursuit
ethics,
of
it's
utopia,
ethics.
we end up in a dystopia.
TOK, my guy.
Jesus, no.
Some
But
okay
whose ethics
people.
is in charge? Like, what if you don't agree with it? What if they
Aristotle
think
said.
something is illegal and you don't?
I'd say God.
I don't think.
Yeah,
killing a
what if
person
you what if
is-
you
No,
believe
no,
what if
okay,
you
I'm not
believe that
saying-
weed is
Oh, you're talking like that.
is a simple
Oh, okay.
is a simple
Well-
drug that you enjoy, and then the government says that all sorts of drugs are illegal, except for the ones that
No.
are required by the medicine, like for a person not to feel pain during an operation, to be
The
asleep
government
during an
Then you-
operation.
No,
You
no,
smoke
no.
a joint and then you get abducted, and then, and then you're
Yeah,
dead.
yeah. You saw.
Well-
Also, that raises a different
Man.
question. Would there really be a citizen that follows all the regulations? A perfect citizen that follows all
Well,
of
it's
that.
an ideal,
Every single
For me, a
citizen would be.
ideal society.
One that served 6 years in the military.
All right, Pedro.
You
We're talking about
would
my
never-
world here. All right, this is my world, my rules. That's how I'm gonna run it.
Wait,
No,
Pedro,
like I said.
what you just said? If the person served 6 years in the military and he was taught the way of this government, right? When he comes back from all of this service, he would believe that there is no need to change anything, and he would vote for the remaining of for the current government once again, and then once again, and then once again.
Exactly.
Because a sheep. Pedro, you just want
Powerful.
sheep.
Powerful. Remaining in charge.
Oh
Okay,
my
okay.
god.
That
Okay.
would be propaganda.
Okay, I get
would
it.
be
You guys have very strong
Propaganda,
opinions.
brainwashing,
This is how we
Yeah.
do it.
All right.
North Korean re-education.
Well,
This is how we do it.
thank you everyone for listening to this episode of the Room Temperature IQ podcast. It's been over 45 minutes now, and I think we should wrap it up before it gets too political and people start killing each other. Anyways, thank you all for listening. Thank you all for being here. Thank you, Lope, Pedro, Rahul, and Stas. We will see you next time. Goodbye.
Peace out.
Bye.
All right. Peace.